Joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be another way. Okay. Welcome everybody. You can see that this is a totally different setting and everything's because we're on location tonight, y'all. We on location. And I have a special guest today because they're all special. He real special. Um, but before we get into that, you guys, and we have a special treat for you later. We're gonna do some demonstrations. But before we get into that, we do with our sponsors. I don't know what he's doing. So here we go. Dreamers. Guys. So now what I'm going to do is present to you and introduce to some again. Roshawn Lyles.
Woo! Everybody clap. Yeah. Dance.
Okay.
Let's go. That's a good intro. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. I try sometimes a little bit. Okay, so how are you?
I am blessed. I am excited. I'm living life. I am just in my purpose right now. And peace. Very peaceful. Right?
Excellent.
So, love it. How are you?
I'm great.
I got to interview you too.
No, you don't. Okay.
Here's the monkey wrench.
Lord help.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start from the very beginning.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about where are you from?
I am from Harvey, Illinois, right?
Okay.
Part of Chicago, for those that do not know. But small town called Harvey, but a big city, low-key. Because there's so many beautiful, talented individuals came from that city. And I'm one of them. I survived, y'all. I survived. Woo! Jesus Christ. It was hard. It was rough.
It was.
Oh, yeah. I been through hell and highway and back 3 times.
3 times.
But you would never know because I don't let people see that side of me.
I feel you.
You know?
I feel you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about from the beginning. Let's deal with Little Sean.
Woo! Oh, man. Lil Sean. I grew up in a home. At some point, there was 17 of us. At some point, it was always more than 10 people in my house, right? My grandmother loved hard. I am 4 siblings total. I'm the oldest on my mother's side. Okay. My dad's side is 3 siblings. I am the middle brother. Okay. Right. So on my mom, I have two males and 2 females. My dad, all 3 brothers. However, mom and dad split at a young age. So I grew up with mom. Mom, I'm just giving you the fast story a little bit. Mom, at the age of I turned about 13, mom had a mental shift. and I didn't know it. However, there was a mental shift, and I was told that mom is dealing with mental illness, um, such as schizophrenia.
Oh,
So
okay.
at 13, I didn't see the signs. However, I we moved in with grandmother at that
Mm,
time for support, and I didn't
makes
understand
sense.
why we were living with grandma because we were living nice, right? I had my own room. I had
Uh-huh.
all the toys, everything, right? Everybody come over my house, but we moved to with grandma, and I seen my mother's reaction, my mother's mood shift dramatically.
Oh,
And so that's when little Sean became more of a mature Sean
because you had
because I had to. I had to step in those
to.
shoes. I was the oldest. And I had to just kind of like do my part, you
Yeah.
know. Growing up at the age of 13, 14, I got my first tattoo in the neighborhood.
Mm.
I was in the hood, right?
Okay.
And but I was not a product of my environment. Okay.
Okay.
Meaning,
Yeah.
okay,
Explain
okay.
that. Yeah.
So of course, most low income areas, you see poverty, right? You
Right.
see the organizations, I'm gonna call it, that young men and women join.
Mhm.
I was associated with a lot of those scenarios because they were my friends, they were
Okay.
my brothers,
Hmm.
right? And so thank God I was not caught up in those scenarios. God,
Okay.
every time it was something that coulda, woulda, shoulda, He shifted me,
Hmm.
right? And so I did not get caught up. I never sold drugs. I was not a gangbanger. I was not any of those negative scenarios that they give our community. I didn't fall into that. My lead, my role was I was gifted with a talent that God gave me to sing. So at 13, 12, 11, I was always in the choir,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Grandma took me. I was raised by my grandma and my mother. She took me to the church.
So you think that like kept you from being a product of your
Oh,
environment?
absolutely. Because I was in church Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday 4 times. So I ain't had no
Oh,
time,
so
right?
you never went to church?
No, we was in church all the time. I'm saying we was there, right? And
Right.
so only thing I got a chance to do really was go to a Markham skate rink.
Okay.
So I was that guy, footworking in there and all that good
Hmm.
stuff. So that those two things kept me out of scenarios, right?
Okay.
That could have turned bad.
Hmm.
Um, one story, I'm riding with I'm not gonna say their name, but I was riding with my associates at that time, and we went at about 14. No, we about 16. We drove to another neighborhood, thinking we was, tough, and God
Thought
showed
you was
me, okay,
bad.
we're gonna sit you down. So I actually took my girlfriend's car.
Hmm.
I put about 6 guys in this car piled up. We rode through this one neighborhood. In Chicago, you can't circle too many blocks too many times, and we did
Hmm.
that. I was the driver. Now here's where it get deep. We went around 2, maybe 3 times, and I just seen people come out of nowhere. Here it comes. All I heard is pop, 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 pop,
Ooh.
and it got serious.
Yeah.
Bullets through the car, through the
Oh
windshield.
my
I'm the
word.
driver.
Oh my gosh. How are you responding
Couple
with that? Or I should say reacting.
shock. However, I was accustomed to hearing it, accustomed to seeing it. So
Hmm.
it really didn't phase me in that moment until we drove. I drove off, and everybody's in the back seat screaming all that. And I pulled over, and we realized that bullets went through the front window where my buddy was sitting, fell on his left, but never shot, never hit anyone. Bullet went through the back window, never
It
hit
went
anyone,
through the window and just dropped.
dropped right in his left. I'm the driver. So now, remember, I took my girlfriend's car. I have to go back and give her a car, and all the windows I shot out, etc.
Mm.
Make the long story short, she was highly upset,
I'm sure.
and it shook me. That
Hmm.
was a moment that shook me, and I was like, I got to do something different. I got to change my mindset, and so singing kicked in at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, to sum
Okay.
it all up, mom was there, even though she was mentally ill. She was there loving on me still, right?
Good.
Grandmother was there. She was that praying grandmother all
Hmm.
day, every day. My dad lived in a different state, but he was still involved. My
Okay.
uncles and aunt raised me, right,
Hmm.
protected me, etc. And so I had a big following. My family was huge support. And so
Good.
when I shifted over to the music, they followed.
Excellent.
So
So, walk through how that actually looked, because you know, people sometimes they'll assume, oh, you got into music, so
yeah,
what was your your record deal and all that stuff, and they don't know that it doesn't like just
Let me take the glasses off for this one. Okay, let's get real. Let me pause these. These are Ray Ban. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. Listen, it does not come easy. It does not come overnight for everyone. Right. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? And investment, right? Mm-hmm. Time and money. Right. So, and sacrifices. People, you're gonna lose some people. You're gonna gain some new people, and then people gonna dislike and like. However, 8th grade, going into high school, no, 9th grade, I knew I could sing a little bit. I was in the choirs. But my buddy Willie Taylor, he was original member of Quiet Storm, but he went to Day 26. And then another gentleman by the name of Lizelle Ho came to my home and was like, let's start a boy band. Oh. During high school, we was like, okay. I was like, oh, okay, cool, sure. I was already familiar with harmony and all that because of the choir. So fast forward, within like 6 months, we formed a group. Right, we got another member. Now it's 4 members, original Quiet Storm. And we spelled our name Quiet at that time. So we was a high school like boy band just kicking everybody but I caught myself kicking, just knocking the doors down a cappella. Mm-hmm. Right? So we was doing artist development 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, or whatever, just nonstop grooming ourselves. We had our parents, of course, supporting that. So we would start getting bookings. Fast forward, we was a cappella, we was doing shows, and we was picking up our name for ourselves. Members did shift, right? Through that process, we grassroots campaigning, going door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood, shoe up and woo woo, and we built a name for ourselves, right? You heard the woo woo, right? Showing my age. So we would go from city to city in Chicago and just kind of like create a name for ourselves, right? Okay. At that time, we were shoe hopping and never had production far as like a beat. Okay. We started a band behind us at that time. I got you. So we got members of the music business. Mm-hmm. They became our musicians, and we started kicking some real butt around the city. So we built up a name. We was in the Chicago Defender. We was in the news. Blah 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 blah. Right. Right. Now they like, oh snap! This group out of Harvey is doing some stuff, and we was doing our 3 push-ups a day. So we was swole. You know what I'm saying? We was really living in that moment. You know what I'm saying? So we had to stay fit. You know what I'm saying? You get it? So radio. We was doing interviews, you know. Then it was like, okay, now we've been doing the band for a couple years. Now let's go into the studio. How are we gonna pay for this? Yeah. That's where it started getting real tricky. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. So couple years we built a name. One individual knew another individual, and that individual started believing in us. Okay. Tiger Roberts. He gave us our first record called Push On. Baby, push on. Make like ghosts be gone, disappear. You can't, got to go home. But you gotta get the hell out of here. Hey, that's a little rough. But anyway, first song at now about 19. Okay. Tiger moved us around. And he believed in us. He said, hey, man, I want to introduce you to some investors. We met our first independent company, Swerve Entertainment, and that from that point, it started scaling as a real group, real business. Mm-hmm. We're talking about in the studio. Now somebody's paying for it. Now somebody's paying for the choreography, paying for the wardrobe, etc. Right? And it's like, oh snap, this is really happening. You know, from that point, it just kept growing and growing and growing, and now we're getting phone calls. You know, people starting to say, "Can I book you guys? Where can I find them?" So now we became a brand. The company taught us how to become a brand, showed us how to become a brand, and they packaged us up.
So let's pause there. What do you mean by you became a brand? What does that look like?
So when I say understanding your sound, your look, dissecting it to the T, knowing what your niche is. So no, we're not a gospel group. We strictly R&B. We only make baby making music, right? That's finding your niche, and then positioning the brand, the look, the image, the package, the songs, the choreography, the look, the wardrobe, putting a plan together with that to say, okay, in the next 2 years, this is what this is going to look like. Mm-hmm. So we start branding ourselves, and then we said, let's get creative. Members shifted. Let's get creative, and let's spell our name very uniquely. KWIET. Quiet Storm.
Okay, real quick.
Yep.
Just so you guys know, when I'm on location, you still can ask questions. So feel free to line it up in the comments. Any questions you have for me or him, I will
Absolutely.
see them, and I have my assistant that will post them as well. So just wanted to let you guys know that we're paying attention. All right, go ahead.
Well, thank you guys first of all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me as well. I don't know if I
Absolutely.
said that yet, but branding was a key thing to formulating the boy band at that time because you had from Chicago you had Public Announcement, One Chance that was signed to Usher, and then you had Next Level. It's a lot of boy bands that you were competing with. What's going to make you stand out? Okay,
Right.
now you identify branding in the song. We studied Boyz II Men and the Temptations a lot, right? So we
Okay.
knew Wanye was the lead singer. As far as vocal arrangements, as far as power, right?
Okay.
Then we say Sean is the falsetto guy in Boyz II Men. Nate is the opener. That's how you. And then the other gentleman, Michael, was the bass. So we had to identify that same concept in our group. That was the branding part.
Okay.
Who do what?
Mhm.
What role do you play? Right?
Okay.
So when you go out, people identify, oh, yep, that's his voice. That's his style. That's his whatever, right?
Mhm.
And so that's kind of where that started.
Okay.
Branding became visual. We didn't have music videos a whole lot. We had one music video at that time in our whole career professionally where we landed it our first video on 106 and Park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Free and AJ.
Okay.
They introduced us, and then it just went to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded an album. Now we're talking about branding again, differently. We have a sound now.
Right.
We're putting music behind us. We understand when we go into the studio what songs work for our vocal or not. Mm-hmm. We understood, okay, we are 3-part harmony scenario, but we like big harmonies. And now we're starting to dissect the vocal part of us, right? Mm-hmm. So we studied the greats, the Michaels and the except Stevie's, of course, the boy bands, and we start picking and pulling little pieces at a time to formulate the new Quiet Storm, the grown and sexy.
Did you guys always agree with?
Hell no.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna just stop you right there. No, I'm talking about like we okay. Willie, what you guys know is Willie. We call him Lucky. My brother, he has a very strong opinion, right? But he means well because the boy is outstanding, right? Mm-hmm. At that time in that season in our career, Willie was the first lead of the group. Okay. He was the Wanye. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. I was the Sean, and Ben was Nate or Mike at times. However, I was the choreographer. But Willie had a strong mindset when it came down to how we should sound. He was really his ears was tuned in, right? And so he understood, nah, that don't work for us. Let's not do that. Let's do this. So when we started listening, right, and it started making sense, now we have a distinct sound different from the next. That was the branding part. Okay, I was the dancer. My nickname was Slow Motion, aka Slow Mo.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
So in the boy band back then, of course, you had to dance. This before the B2Ks and all. It was Jagged Edge and 112. You had to compete. You couldn't just sing. You had to give a performance. So it was more of a. When I was in college, I was a dancer. I'm gonna say that. Okay. I did footwork. I did nightclub. I did frat. I did all the dancing. Okay. And so slow motion came from the way I was moving. Right. In Chicago, we have a certain role, right? That we do in the dancing world. So that's where that came from. So I knew in the group, the branding part for me was choreography, the stage. What does this look like? Feel like? Where are we gonna be? The counts, the movement, etc. So understanding all of that was part of the brand. So when you look at don't dance, a little bit maybe, but they were more about harmonies and shoe whopping in the beginning, and then it shifted to love songs, big ballads. That was our way of branding. We wanted the big record, the Babyface records,
Okay.
Here's another key point. As you guys who are listening, who are artists, for me, I started hearing music differently and I got behind the piano.
Okay.
That was another way of branding. What makes your group stand out? Well, we all do something different. Outside of singing, we bring something another asset to the group.
Okay.
So we all write, we all sing, we all do choreography. Some of us are musicians. So that's where the other part of the quiet storm.
So that sounds like good elements for a group.
Absolutely.
But that also sounds like it could also create
some bullshit.
I'm gonna go with your the name of the group, Quiet Storm.
Quiet storm.
Right?
Storms going
Create
on.
some storms.
Oh yeah.
Because with all of you being so heavily talented in that way,
Mm-hmm.
that means you're visualizing, you got the music in your head, however you have it in your head. So how exactly did you work that out?
Oh, it was hell.
Oh, okay.
Boxing gloves. Let's go. Because
did y'all really box?
We had some moments. We were friendly. It was friendly boxing. No real fighting. But let me think. No, it was a real fight one day. I ain't gonna talk about that right now. But we'll talk about that a little bit. But we just had to what made sense for the group, right? We had some big falling outs where it took us a week for you to get back on the phone with me. So I'm pissed because you didn't hear my idea, right? Oh. You had to throw your ego to the side, and then you had to think about what's the best movement for the group. What is the audience going to need and want from us? Sometimes you got to take your personal feelings out. Of course, you're passionate, and we was living in passion, and we was forgetting about the business. That's a lot of things that people do. Passionate, and they forget what on the other side, the audience. Right. That's the business. How you going to make money? How you going to keep this going? So putting our pride to the side, really humbling ourselves and understanding we just want the same thing. We're just passionate about what we and just coming to understandings. And it took a little time, but we were brothers first. So we understood each other's body language and attitudes. Like, oh, this is pissed. Whatever, right? Oh, get over it. Right? And so just like we all are passionate about something. If you press an idea to me right now, and I'm just like, nah, I ain't doing that. You're going like, dang, bro. Right? So we went through that. Right. Yeah. So it was just more so being considerate of the other individuals' ideas. And then it makes sense. There was times like that don't make sense right now. Right. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna do it. I'll try it, but right now that's not the lane. That's not what we own. That's not the movement. Okay. And so having a label and a manager to actually add value to those decisions helped. That part right there saved a lot of ass whoopings. You know what I'm saying? From us putting on them gloves because it's three of us, but then we got a manager. Okay, majority sometimes, or sometimes he or she gonna say, "No, we don't do that," because they're looking at it from a different perspective, right? And so we've been through some stuff. We've been through hell and hot water. You know what I'm saying, like, I body slammed a few people. I got body slammed a few times. I ain't gonna lie, and so it taught me. At the end of the day, like my brothers got my back and I got theirs, and we was ready for other groups that wanted to throw them hands. You know what I'm saying? Like we was doing them push ups. We was real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? we were ready, so don't run up, baby. We would claim Harvey real quick. Okay. It was everything was Harvey. Well, you know from Harvey. Oh, no, we were never those guys who had issues with anybody but ourselves, because we would just want the best for each other. More like competition with each other. Okay. I can do it better than you, bro. Well, come on, show me then. You know what I'm saying? Friendly competition. Yeah, no ego, none of that. I mean, there might have been a day or two where it was like, all right, boy. Yeah, you know what I mean? Let me take this head off.
So okay. At some point, there was a pivot. So you're doing your thing, you're performing, you got your stuff out on 6th and Park. Then what?
Oh, wow. I'm glad you said that, but thank you. So 106 and Park was definitely an experience. The night it came on, we were grown people. I'm gonna tell this story. We were about 23, 24, right? I'm the oldest in the group. No, Ben is. I'm sorry. Anyway, we was like 23, 24, and we playing hide and go seek with our female friends. It was like everybody come over to one person's house, and we was just kicking it, right? We were like, let's play old school games. We had the TV on while we was playing. However, everybody was drinking. I don't drink, but they was drinking, and I was drinking Pepsi, and I had to throw that in there. So y'all better give me a deal. But anyway, um, we were playing hide and go seek.
I am not sponsored by Pepsi, by the way. Okay, go
Okay, I hope I didn't mess up nothing.
No.
Okay, we was playing hide and go seek, but it was fun, right? It was like 2 in the morning, midnight love,
Okay.
106 apart. And next thing, everything just stopped because it was like new joint of the day. Group called Quiet Storm, and I still got the recording.
Mm.
In the middle of us playing hide and go seek, it went up. We started doing stuff and just celebrating, flipping couches, all type of stuff. So my friend's house got messed up, but that's how exciting it was. So the pivot shifted that night when we actually saw ourselves on national TV, and it was like, this is real. Pinch me. We out the hood, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we gone. So that was the attitude. From that point, it just started picking up. I'm talking about BET was calling. We was doing the 10 packs BET tour with A-listers, right? And venues of 20, 30,000. We got to rest in peace. But when Michael Jackson passed away, we was blessed to do CNN, the memorial out in Gary. So we did the that was another pivot. And then boom, here it comes. And I might be out of order with some of this stuff, but our biggest break, we recorded a song called Lights Out, Candles Lit that you guys may be familiar with. Some people probably had a couple kids, you know what I'm saying? I be seeing people like, man, that's your song. I'm like, yeah. Wow, I done had my kids off your song. And I'm just like, damn, wow, I'm 27 though. You know what I'm saying? How does that work? But it was so much love and respect and just that pivot of my career. And I've been in meetings and I met A, B, C, D, F, G people, and it was just like nothing was greater than seeing that on TV for the first time. Yeah. A brother from the hood. That's like, mama, I made it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Without the money. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was free. But things shifted. The album came out. Now the sales are coming in. Now we're getting booked on. Now we're getting paid. You know, there's checks coming in. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That went on for years. I mean, I can tell you tour stories, but the bond became amazing. Me and my brothers. We picked up dancers. They was traveling. We was touring with different people. We got 3 keys to the city from I think Miami, New York, and Chicago. Okay. We meeting presidents of like Sony, Universal. They now want to sign us. Okay. We was with an independent. At that time, everybody was saying independent was the best way to go because MC Hammer was, Master P was doing it. No limit. So it was around that time. So we meeting all these people. They liking us. The name has picked up. It's now outside of Harvey. It's now in LA, New York, and here come a monkey wrench. Ready? B2K came out. God damn it. Oh my God. I wanted to smack everybody around me. So I'm now chilling one day. Now that our group is making some noise and we're getting paid now. And I'm looking at TV again, and here come this other 4-man group, young men, and they had this polished look, and we looked at each other. Me and Willie was like, oh shoot. Oh shoot.
I had to talk to him about his mouth before the show.
What is gonna happen right now? Because they're younger than us. And they moving different. But they style, you know what I'm saying? Like, so example, like when we were studying groups, maybe they studied us. We don't know. Maybe. Full circle, Willie and Omarion are friends now, and we got a chance to write records for Marcus Houston at that time. And so that was a pivot because it was like, oh, reality just kicked in. It's another group out there that's kind of giving us some movement. You know what I mean? And they had the big budget. Right. We had the independent budget. God was good to us though, but they had the big machine, and it was moving. Oh my God, it was like yikes. Back to the drawing board, fellas. Right? Monkey wrench, here it comes. Years later down the line, we were going through some. This is the sad moment for me, but we was going through some internal label stuff with our independent company, and it shifted, and so it put a bad taste in our mouth, and the group split. Quiet Storm split because, and I don't want to put nobody else's name in your podcast. However, Mr. Combs came out with this show. right? And we auditioned for this show because we like, oh, let's get in this scenario because it's
Right.
maybe, right?
Maybe.
Our situation is gone. Let's try this.
Mhm.
We tried that. I didn't make it all the way. The other guy didn't make it all the way, but one member did, which was Willie. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest to God right now. Like it was like, damn, bro, what we gonna do? How this gonna be? So it was like, you know what? At the end of the day, bro, go ahead, go get it, bring it back.
Okay.
You get in, we here.
Right.
Now this one, the pivot shifted. Willie made day 26. Quiet Storm now is me and Ben. Our other member is gone.
Right.
I wanted to still sing. Hey, let's get new members. Let's call it KS2. So this one the shift changed. So Lights Out Candles Lit is known for me and Willie and Ben.
Mm-hmm.
But when he went to day 26, the Quiet Storm 2, KS2 kicked in and all the members shifted. I was the only original. Fast forward, we moved to Atlanta, started moving around again, grassroots, picked up a team, understood the marketing, and Usher's mom took a liking to us and signed us.
Oh, nice.
That's the fast forwarded version of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's when the Justin Bieber was out. And Usher was back with his mom. And the confession that hit. So it was like, yo, this might be the perfect move. You got Usher back with mom because that was his manager.
Right.
The biggest manager in the world at that time. And she like us. Whoa, shoot. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. Yo, so we met a gentleman by the name of AJ Alexander, who is the guy who discovered Usher. So just so you guys follow the story, the old Quiet Storm with Willie Taylor, myself, and Ben shifted.
All right.
Okay, now that's done. The KS2 is now in motion. Took about a year to rebuild. We don't have a label at the moment.
Okay.
We are now back at I'm back at step one, grassroots.
Now during this time, are you guys still friends?
Oh yeah, we still friends to this day.
Okay.
They're my brothers.
Okay.
So I just talked to WB right before we was doing our stuff earlier.
Okay.
So we still locked in. My brother Willie, he out in Arizona doing things, movies, etc. But I'm his son's godfather, and he's my son. So we tied in no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So,
excellent. That's how it should be.
So the new Quiet Storm kicked in. We did that year of artist development, learning new stuff, some of the old Quiet Storm music, and we went out on the road again. We did a 90-city tour, funded by ourselves. We picked up a manager. We don't have no label as of yet, and they like, yo, if you ever look at Quiet Storm on YouTube, and you type in New York, I think it's New York live. Say Quiet Storm New York. Anyhow, you'll see some of them live performances where they were going pandemonium. Oh, it was like my whole shirt got ripped off in the middle of performance. Oh, I'm singing, woo, and she like, give me that, and my tank top off my body.
Oh dear, did it scare you?
I loved it. I loved it.
Of course.
So now we're a year in, moving around, and we get a liking from AJ Alexander, the guy that discovered Usher. You guys look him up. He's awesome. He did the whole artist development with us.
Nice.
And now the artist development got even more serious because we're learning from a professional. Somebody's in the game who's taught Usher. All the moves and the practices he do, that's who's teaching him. Okay. And so he said, man, I like y'all. Where y'all from? Chicago? Me too. AJ from Chicago. So we connected on that. Man, let me bring y'all into the studio. We didn't know exactly who he was at first. Boom, we go to the wait, this looks familiar. I seen this on TV. Okay. Wait, Usher video, pictures, video, plaque. Okay. We kind of had that in the back of our head, but we wasn't sure. He said, let me train y'all. He trained us for 6 months. He said, 6 months, if y'all could show me the new group, if y'all could show me y'all can do something, I'll introduce y'all to Janetta. At that time, I didn't know who the name Janetta was. I knew Miss Pat. Okay. So it didn't ring a bell. But we in a studio. We in a whole studio. 6 months ago, he said, I'm gonna let y'all meet Janetta. Janetta comes in. Oh shit, that's Usher Mama. My bad, I mean hit you. Yo, that's Usher Mama, right? So we introduced all that good stuff. Let me see y'all perform. Oh, We were prepared.
Mhm.
She said, y'all sound off together. All four of y'all sound off together at the same damn time.
Oh.
But let me tell you why. She said, I could tell you guys been working together consistently, but all y'all sing off key at the same time. We did our 4-part harmonies, Mr. Raw, right? But that tell her, but y'all in sync.
Insyncly wrong.
Insyncly wrong. But if y'all had some correction, but y'all in sync, y'all got a look, y'all polished. B2K, you know, they doing their thing, but now it's a new thing. Wait a minute. She put some thought to it. She said, if y'all can give me a little bit more tuning up, I'll showcase y'all for my New Year's party at my house while everybody shows up. Everybody show up. You hear me? You hear me? You hear me? My bad. So, okay, now it's like, oh, snap, the pressure is on. So, guys, that's why it's proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you're ready, you're going to always be ready. So, we were ready. But even though we had some tweaking, she still liked us enough to say, give us a shot, and we're going to show you. Okay. 6 months later, so now we did another year of artist development, but with a professional.
All right.
He got a band. We got steps. We doing mid condition. We doing all these songs. Okay. Our range is like now tuned up a little bit. We got a vocal trainer, Jan Smith, who Beyonce, Whitney Houston, Usher, etc. That's now our vocal coach. And at that time, phones were really popping. I would have been doing my live videos. But so now we're tuning up. She like, yo, let me see y'all. Boom, we put a love it. Y'all performing at my New Year's party. Nice. So that day, New Year's, fast forward New Year's, showtime. Her big house in the basement. She got a club. She got a pool table. Keep that in mind. So we decided to do some old school. You got me going in circles. Okay. So we took it old school, y'all. And it was like, ooh, shoot. Them old ladies were robbing. They was on it. It was So we sang. We jumped on the pool. We had on tuxes with like gym shoes. Okay. Real edgy, but clean. Everybody was cut. Beijing was popping in. So our Beijing was shining and all that. The lining was crisp and black. Oh, shoot. All I remember is sweating. And I was like, there was a pool table. In the middle of our performance, like, for some, I said something. We all got on the pool table. Now we looking down on the crowd. It's Usher. It's record labels. It's people all in the audience. And we would just snap with the old school songs. And they loved it. Standing ovation, encore. Okay. Next morning, she just had us in the office. Ready to sign. And we did. Excellent. And we signed Usher's mom, JPAT Records. If you guys ever look it up, JPAT Records, type in Quiet Storm, KWIET, Storm. And you'll see, you know, those accolades and blessings. Excellent. We're going to pause there because we got so much more to get into, y'all. Got my Darnell Jones hat. It got no damn sense. But real quick, for those of y'all that are watching from YouTube, this is what I want you to do. And we are, subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff. Thank you for the love ahead of time. So we're going to take a small little break. But before we do that, we are going to let this song play. What are we playing? Okay. Let me put on the glasses for this one. Listen, hey guys, for y'all out there, Chicagoland, or even in the world, there was a record called "Lights Out, Candles Lit" by the group Quiet Storm, featuring myself. I sing the second verse, and this record changed my life, changed my financial bracket. It just landed. I'm leaving a legacy for my children, and so go ahead and support this. It is not on Apple Music at the moment. We are working on that, but you can find it everywhere else. And rock out to it. Old school R&B, but be careful now. Okay. All right, yeah.
I jumped on 995 at a quarter to nine, pressing construction zone. I'm trying to get home to you. It's rush hour. Just past the towers. Jump in the showers now. Cause I'm ready to go in and out. Feel my lead against your oh. Watch my nature as it rolls down. I'll go, baby, fast or slow. I'll take my time, I'll do it right. No matter if it takes all night, I'll put you on. Feet on the floor, silently you moaning, baby. Oh, lights out, candles lit. Your legs are steady shaking, the headphones will be with you. Hands on the bed, feet on the floor, silently you moaning, but your body's screaming more. Lights out, candles lit. Your legs are steady shaking, the headphones will be ready. Now can I feel inch by inch? I'm loving the way you move. You're moaning, it sounds so good. While I'm deep inside of you lately, I've been feeling for this. Been fiending for your kiss. Come on and ride all day and night, baby, on top of me. Watch my nature as it down I'll go. Baby, fast or slow, I'll take my time, I'll do it right. No put your hands on I hear your body calling. And candles lit. Your legs are steady shaking. Your headphones will be down, down, down on the bed. Feet on the floor. Silently, I hear you calling me. I hear you calling me. Turn the lights out. Your legs are steady shaking. Your headphones will be breaking down, down. Said I wanna go down. Said I wanna go down. I wanna go down. Said I wanna go down. Said I wanna go down. Said I wanna go down. I wanna go down. I said you're moving, baby. Turn on the lights, baby. Your legs are steady. They're shaking. Be breaking down, 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 down. I got your mind. Said you're moving. I got your body. Lights out, hands on. Your legs are steady. I got 'em shaking. I got your daddy's on. Yes, he is. Daddy's on. Daddy's on. Daddy's on. Daddy's on. Daddy's on.
All right, you guys. So we're in our second half ish because we we were past the half
We having
mark.
fun, y'all.
So I told you guys that we are gonna get some demonstration and everything, but let's introduce what this is about. So you pivoted to what?
So after singing a couple years put the mic down. But at the same time, while I was on the road, I didn't realize that God was tuning me up for something different.
Okay.
Through that process, a phone was in my hand at all times, and I was always taking pictures. I didn't realize the content part was being developed.
Okay.
With that said, put the mic down, and I said, God, what else can I do? What else do you want me to do? Right? Because I thought singing was gonna be it forever. Right? He gave me a phone, and I took pictures. My sister's wedding. She didn't have a photographer. I do it, but I got a phone, iPhone 5. Yeah, I remember. Boom. I took pictures. I used that as leverage, and I just posted it. And people was like, "Oh man, these pictures are great. Who took these pictures?" My brother. Oh wow. So now I'm getting inquiries about me being a photographer. And so it shifted like this. It was like, I'll pay you $1,000. I shoot with a cell phone though. Sure. Long as you come like that. And I'm like, what?
Like, we asked about your equipment.
Yeah. That happened
products.
twice.
Wow.
In like 3 months. Right? And I was like, okay, what is this? So I was like, if I can do that with a cell phone and with an iPhone, imagine if I switched over to Android. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be boom. So I switched over to Android. I had a Samsung Note 5.
Okay.
And that's when it shifted. And I started getting booked more with phones. And I was like, wait a minute. Year into it, I decided to buy my first camera, which was a Canon. Put the phone down, get the camera, and I started hanging around other individuals who did photography. And I started picking up tips and tricks. And they would all tell me, like, bro, you got it. You understand. I knew nothing. I'd never been to school. I knew zero. I just knew something. Feel right. If it feel right, take a picture.
Okay.
Right? I was capturing emotions when people was in the moment. So that's what I started doing. Okay. Moving fast forward, I got a job I was done with music, trying to still do music on the side, but I got a job at T-Mobile. Okay. That's when the phones was popping, right? So I had my phones in there and I was doing all that. At the end of the day, I was like, put this phone down and go invest in yourself. I saved some money, right? I had some savings and plus to have the job. And I was like, go full time. Let's go. Believe in yourself. You got the relationships already, Sean. You got the network already, Sean. You know a lot of people in your own city, Sean. It's probably could pick up pretty fast. And you got some people who's willing to mentor you. Danny Black, Jay Hits, Ricky Green. All these are photographers who were like I was shadowing low key. I would ask them, I would blow their phone up. Oh, bro. 3 a.m, bro. What's this?
Oh no.
What button is this?
Oh,
and they like, nigga, just watch YouTube. No, you is my YouTube. So I would blow them up. They taught me so much, but a lot of it was trial and error. I was at the crib. I finally got my camera. I was at home practicing on everything. Candles, mugs, shoes, people, because my kids didn't want to do it. I got to practice on something. So I would make stuff as a subject to focus on and just, then I started studying YouTube. But I would be on the phone with the guys like, yo, what's this, what's that? I would go sit in their sessions to see how they do it, the experience I was looking for. I felt like I had an eye for something. I just didn't know what it was yet. So I didn't have a niche. I would shoot everything.
Okay.
Now I'm years in. I now formulated my business, LLC. I'm legit now. Okay. I'm a CEO boss. But I didn't understand what the hell that meant. Right? All the expenses, everything falls onto me. Right? When the things go right and wrong. All that. So now I'm starting to understand. Exactly. I'm starting to understand what that looks like as a CEO because I wanted that title. It felt good, it looked good, it sounded good. And I felt like if I had a CEO behind it, I would get more bookings and I could charge more. And it worked. It worked, but the responsibility of a CEO was like, whoa, hold on. I started doing my research. I started getting more sharp. I started getting sharper with the knowledge of photography, the foundation of it, and understanding the camera, and then the branding part of it, which is take the CEO out of it and just do a brand photographer. And I learned that, and I was like, ding, here we go. Okay. And I started formulating my own little thing. I started buying equipment, lights, gear. I got a bunch of stuff that's unnecessary. Like most people probably do, right? I got microphones. I'm not even I don't need the microphone. I got just this is photography stuff, but like video cameras and microphones for the video. I'm not a videographer, but I was just buying stuff because I was excited.
Okay.
I was in that mode for a long time until I was like, okay, pockets. You know what I'm saying? Things are shifting. Cameras are costing $4,000. Like, yo, what we doing?
Yeah.
Right? And I still got a family. Shout out to my 6 kids and my wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 6. Okay. You heard it. I'm 27.
He said, and I repeat.
Yeah. But I started.
You're 27.
Yeah, you heard it. Rewind. 27. So I turned it into a business. I became really serious about it. And I was that guy at the computer for hours editing one picture, trying to make it perfect. And then bing, hit me again. Stop wasting time trying to do all the jobs. Delegate. And I started studying others. So they don't do it like that. And I said, oh, but my homies do.
Right.
They like this all day. 2 hours, 3 hours, one picture done. Oh, it ain't perfect. And I said, wait a minute. The client don't get that. They don't know what that means. Just give them an experience and they're going to love it no matter what. Give them quality stuff. So I started dissecting my business and understanding how to internally fix it to make the experience better for the customer.
Okay.
I put myself in the customer's shoes. I took the CEO, threw it in the garbage, and I put the title of brand photographer, meaning I just want to create brands and people and portraits and make you look good, right?
Right.
Understanding my niche. I taught myself every style of photography. Anything with a camera, I know how to do it now, right? 8 years later. So, the now booming, I'm like, yo, let's take a trip. I got my other business partner. Let's go a trip. I'll cover it. We go to Vegas. So took 10 people to Vegas. Okay. We got booked for my first out of the state event. Nice. As a photographer.
How did that feel?
It was let me tell you. Let me pause my glasses. Okay, cool. Got it. Cool. I want y'all to see my eyes. It was freaking hell. Oh. But a great experience. It was monkey wrenches thrown at me that I wasn't prepared for. It was all the things that I didn't know happened. Okay. It was letdowns and hype moments, good moments, right? And I had people with me. That hurt to see this didn't go right or this didn't go right or this did go right. And everybody like, man, I thought it was. And I'm like, damn. So that's when I knew it was another pivot where sharpen your shit. Excuse me. Sharpen your business. Sharpen your skills, son. And so learn the business first. The talent, you naturally have something there. Just keep doing that. Keep going to classes. Keep going to mentors and studying. And the business part of it, though, I want you to dive into. Get around some people who got more money than you. Get around people who are doing different conversations than you. When I learned those methods, that Vegas trip was amazing because it taught me in that moment. I seen everything I was doing wrong. I came back home, flip it, done, fixed it, let's go. Now it's a different Lyles vision, right? Okay. Now I understand the vision, I understand why the vision exists, I understand my purpose, who my target audience, who that is, all the way down to what type of cologne and perfume and shoes they wear. Yeah. Wow. When you understand your ideal client, you got to really dissect that. You got to really know and feel. You got to be them. Right, so my ideal client, he got on a nice little $1,500 hat. He ain't rocking no baseball cap. Okay. Right, and I'm not knocking nobody that do baseball caps. However, my ideal client was someone that I wanted to feel like luxury. Okay. That's what I mean. And so, understanding what that looked like, what that felt like, and so it really helped me understand where I was going. You know, so makes sense. Fast forward 8 years in the game. I understand it now. I've branded myself. I've gotten publications multiple times. I've landed a project with Grey Goose, right? Man, that was crazy. Wow, still blowing my mind with that one. I've worked with Bill Cartwright currently. Just did his book spread for his new NBA Tell It All scenario. I did that. I landed a bunch of stuff that was like accomplishments that I wasn't fulfilled yet. The end goal, though, is coming. All right. We're going to talk about that.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to get everything in. Okay, so as promised that we would show them
Absolutely.
how you set this stuff
Let's
up.
go.
All right.
All right, let's get right to it, y'all. It's the
I'm the
kid our
model
lives.
today,
Let's go.
guys.
So today, guys, the goal is to be able to demonstrate just in a few moments how our Lyles vision experience would look like if you were the client. Okay, first of all, let me talk about the gear. A lot of you guys already know, but if you don't, Sony 7AR3, right? This is a full frame camera. This is a 85 millimeter 1.4 lens. I'm sorry, 1.8 lens. I'm using a newer trigger. I'm shooting with a newer lights Q4s, which are 400 watts per light. Okay, today we're going to demonstrate a one light setup. So the light to the right of me, right, is strictly just monolight. It will not flash. Pray about it. But the key light we're going to be using will be this beautiful beauty right here. I'm going to put it in the frame for it. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let me show you something on the front of here. There's a grid. That's the most important part that you guys need to see. Okay, photographers, if you understand the grid and all that good stuff, it's basically controlling the light, right? It's not going to allow the light to spill everywhere. We don't want that. Okay. So the other thing is we're going to set our camera up to raw to get the best quality. Okay. We already set our ambient light. I'm going to cheat a little bit for video purposes. We already set our ambient light, meaning before we turned the flash on, we took a picture of what the room looked like and feel like. So then we checked our white balance. We look at her skin tone, and we matched it up with a 49 Kelvin, 4900 Kelvin. And what that is just if you can look too orange, too bright, too whatever. So that's what we did there. So the first thing is setting up your gear. Boom. Now we understand camera settings. We got an SD card in there, and we're ready to rock and roll. Now, aperture for me, aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Those are your most important parts to your camera to create the image outside of lighting. So we're going to shoot at shutter speed 80, 80. The reason why we're doing 1/80, the reason why, because there's no movement. Okay, so if you understand photography, we're shooting at shutter speed 80. We're going to have the model pose over here right on the couch. From that point, you want to shift the camera, or are we good? Okay. So from that point, our aperture, f-stop, another word, we're going to shoot at f7. I want some detail, but I do want a little bit of bokeh in the background, just a little bit. Remember, I'm shooting with an 85 prime lens. So this does not zoom in. It's only one focal point. ISO is about 320. I may mess with that slightly here and there. Depends on the feel. The other thing is now we're going to turn on our trigger, right? We are on channel B as in boy. Bingo. You see that? Cool. That's when you know it's triggering. All right. Let's bring this down a little bit. We want to bring our lights, in my opinion. I only give my opinions, right? These are not the only way to do things. Go down just an inch, please. Thank you so much. These are not the only ways you can produce this shot. This is just the way I do it. Okay? So let's not get that twisted. Sean said, no, it's my opinion. So now that we have our trigger set, we're going to be shooting at channel 1. This light is on B. We're shooting in manual mode, and we're going to shoot at 1/8. My recommendation would be, if you guys are testing your light out for the first time, start at the highest power first and work your way down until it feels good to you. We're going to record. Maybe not. Okay, I think so. Okay, so with that said, let's take a shot. All right, we're going to introduce ourselves like we never met. Hi, my name is Sean. Pleasure to meet you. Awesome. I love the outfit. The colors are beautiful. It complements the sofa and the beautiful rug. What a coincidence, right? Like we planned this or something. I love the hair. Now, I position the light on the opposite side of her hair because the hair now falls on the left and the light hits on the right. Now, what does that do? Give us more light on her face. Let me loosen all these lips. God, crack cocaine lips. Anyhow, so now what we want to do, we want to pose our model first before we get into the shot. So, beautiful model, we want to have you posture slightly that way a little bit. Can you go down a little bit more, please? Thank you. We want to do that. We're going to dim our light just a tab it. Hopefully, it don't affect what we're doing.
Still
Okay,
see me.
perfect, perfect. So now we have our going down. We're gonna cross right over left at the ankles. Okay, perfect. We're gonna shift just a little bit out. Perfect. So those little bitty tips makes a huge difference in your photo. Okay, now we want a nice, beautiful boss pose. Okay, I want you to relax. I want to take a happy place. Right, I will be shooting this way. Okay, your eyes will be at me. You're gonna arch your back a little bit forward. Yep, lean forward slightly. Relax those fingers. See, guys, she had her fingers balled up. We want to open up those fingertips. Okay, we want to bring that chin down a little bit. Follow my finger. Down. Perfect. Eyes at me. Separate the lips a little bit. Breathe through the teeth. Okay, we're going to do a test shot. Make sure our trigger's working. Now, we're shooting with an 85 millimeter, so I have to step back some, guys. Way back here. Okay, how comfortable are you? Okay, can you bring your feet out just a tad bit forward? There you go. Love that. Let's do a test shot. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Oh my God! God damn it! That was cold. Whew. Jesus Christ! I can't believe I just did that. Oh my God! That test shot was crazy. So now I'm just playing. Hey, listen. Um, she ain't expect that one. So this interview is different. Okay. So our test shot looks great. Now we're gonna walk through a couple shots and loosen up the client. Cool. If you choose to play music, feel free. I do not recommend playing the music too loud unless the client wants that, so the client can hear you and you're not yelling. Okay. So now our foreground is the floor and the carpet. This is just like a piece of the shot, the pillow. It's just a little bit of ambience in the shot, okay, in the frame. Okay, we're not shooting the whole thing. The goal is for her to pop out a little bit. Okay, here we go. On 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, shot. Awesome. Small movement. Keep drifting just a little bit. So as I shoot, I want you to keep drifting. Now use your right hand to the shot. There you go. Love that. Awesome. Eyes towards me. Beautiful, soft smiles. Ha ha ha. 1, 2, 3. Ha ha ha. Yes, yes, gorgeous. So guys, as she's moving slightly, I'm doing the shots, right? So now we're gonna have the model stand up for a minute because now we're gonna change up the pose. Okay. Let's get right into that frame. We're gonna shift this over just a tad bit. You're gonna stand right there. So we have our ambient light in the background. Let's see you. Go back a little bit more, please. Just a little bit more. Thank you so much. So we're gonna raise our light up some because now the client has stood up. Okay. We're still shooting with 85. If you guys can see, there's a light behind her. That's our ambient light. We want that to be in the shot. Okay. So I got it on low power. We're gonna shift over to your left slightly. Perfect. Now that light is not right behind her head. That's all that stuff makes a huge difference. Okay. Now, because we are shooting in a window, we may have a reflection in the mirror because the blinds are open. I can close them, but we just rock and roll right now. Now, the first thing I want you, are you right hand or left hand?
Right.
Okay. So follow me. Put your right foot, bend it slightly. Cool. You felt that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that hip falls. Yeah. Let's place our hands here. Follow me. Left hand goes up. Right hand goes up. Cool. And your chin goes to your left. Eyes up a little bit. Beautiful. Right there. Bring down just an inch on the chin. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it. On 3. 1, 2, shot. Now cross over right to left. If that's comfortable for you. Mm-hmm. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just if you can't, just go in front.
Like right here.
Let's go in front. It's fine.
Oh.
Make it comfortable for you.
Okay.
Yeah. I want more in front though. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shot. Beautiful. Small movement. 1, 2, 3, shot. Lovely. So here. Love that. Beautiful. Stunning. 1, 2, 3, shot. So guys, stay right there, model. So guys, what I also do, I use a keyword 1, 2, 3, and breathe. Right? I don't tell our clients to, tuck in your stomach. This is just a pointer for our photographers. Right? There's beautiful words that you can use to make your client feel comfortable, women or men. Right? So I want you to follow me right here. Right? I want you to tighten up the core. Okay? When we shoot 1, 2 shots. Okay? Also, when you breathe your teeth. Right? Follow me. Separate your lips. Inhale. Exhale. That's when the shot happens. The shot happens at her most vulnerable stage, when she's relaxed at the most. If you catch her while she's filling up, she looks tough. Here. We want her here. Make sense? Go, let's try it again. So this is gonna be a upper body shot. Okay. So you can here shift that hip. Yeah. Beautiful. Where's your light? Beautiful. So we also remind your client where the light is, because if she looks away, that's a beautiful shot, but the lighting is better this way. That's my opinion. Here we go. This is from the waist up, okay? And remind your client that you're shooting from the waist up. 1, 2 shot. 1, 2 shot. Eyes at me. 1, 2 shot. Beautiful, stunning. Open them fingers. Yeah. So you're here. Let's open them up a little bit. So there you go. Stunning. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you. Lovely. Awesome. Here we go again. So now we're shooting at the knees. So shot, guys, what we want to do is be able to get quarter length, full body, and headshots all in one frame. Cool. Make sense? Cool. Let's shift our body this way. Come here. And look at me. Yep. Let's bend that right arm. Yep. Perfect. How you feeling? Keep checking in with your client. Make sure she's feeling good. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, stunning. And compliment her as she's shooting. Great job. Tighten up core. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Soft movement. Keep drifting a little bit. Meaning just let it flow. Good. Turn your torso towards me a little bit. Perfect. I love that. Right there. Shot. Soft smiles. Gorgeous. And got it. Cool. Now, that's how you rock out. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do that. Let me pat myself on the back. See, here's the greatest thing about being a photographer. The pat on the back was actually awesome. Let me tell you why. Because you as the photographer still have to feel comfortable and confident, because she paid you big money. Right. She ain't expecting you to walk in here like you don't know what you're doing. Right? So it's okay to give yourself a little love in private. We killed that. So how was your experience so far?
It was a good experience.
It was a good experience. Yes. Even though it was a fast scenario, right? We wanted to be able to just give you guys a sneak peek of what that looks like. So thank you so much for having me demonstrate what I do. And yeah, I love it. Oh, you guys want to see one? I heard you. They was asking, like, where's it?
They asked. Oh, okay. Did you ask?
Are you okay with me showing? Okay. I don't know if you guys will be able to see what I'm looking at. It's probably a reflection. Yeah. Let me go to it. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. Tell me if you can see. Oh no.
No, but what
Maybe
I can do is this.
We're gonna show y'all one. Hold on. We're gonna give y'all one.
Barely. Can you move it closer?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it. So, guys, it's that easy. Now, in my photo sessions, the experience is so important. Okay. The client feels good. She or he walked away feeling great about the experience. You, the photographer, were professional to the T, right? They got their money's worth. You ask questions. What do you like? What don't you like? Can I do anything to make it feel better? Feel free to laugh, make some jokes, right? Always keep it top tier, though. Keep it professional. Complimenting is what gets you guys in trouble. Let me tell you why. It's so important, right? Because you can compliment a person the wrong way. Example. Damn, shorty, you think is it? Absolutely not.
Right.
Beautiful is a good word. It's safe, right? Because she's married, he's married, whatever. You don't want to offend nobody. In my sessions, if a client is a young lady and she is married, I ask to speak to the husband. I want you to know that you are bringing your wife to the studio, good person, good energy. I'm also married, so I understand, right? So that's so important, right? The experience is from beginning to end. From the time we take that phone call to the consultation to the last piece when you get your photos and you give me my review. Yeah, that experience continues to go. So those are some tips and tricks, guys, to to help your business grow as well. www.ourlylesvision.com. Last piece. Can I leave one more tip?
Yes.
We got time?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We already over time.
Shoot. Oh.
So go ahead.
Okay. Last piece, guys. If you're a professional photographer and you have quality work, I'm talking about quality. Do not sell yourself short. Do not charge way down here. You will not get booked. Here's a trick. People tend to buy things that seem too expensive. Because when it's too low value in price, $50 for a photo shoot, but his pictures look like they worth $10,000, it's like that can't be true. Something ain't right. So they subconsciously think like, I don't know about that. But if your price is $600 for a photo session, he must not be that. He must be good because he's charging big dollars, and it's flat on his website, and everybody keep going to him. So it's a mental thing. So don't get caught up in. Again, if you are a beginner, that's totally different. But if you are professional experience, do not settle. Right, just find new ways to scale it. Right, find creative ways to put it out there. And it'll work for you. That's it.
All right. Well, amen, and thank you.
Awesome. So let me get my chair back. I feel tall.
All right. So also before we leave, let me remind you guys of the new single that Elijah Jamal just dropped.
I miss you like a Sunday morning. I keep it covered when it's.
Come on now.
All right, so that's when it drops. So if you don't have it now, what are you waiting on? Hurry up and go get it.
Go get it. I heard it earlier.
He just said so.
It was dope.
Period. All right. Okay, you guys. So next week, we ain't gonna be here because it's a holiday. But the following week, yes, this shall continue. We got more for you. And y'all know if y'all have any guests that I have that you want me to bring back, you just tell me.
Love it.
Leave it in the comments. If you got any questions, leave it in the comments. If you got any comments, leave it in the comments. And I'll see you guys again soon, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And remember to embrace God's perfect design, which is you. Next time.
Although we